Shelbourne and Bohemians took place tonight at Dalymount Park. Already they occupy the top 2 places in the Premier Division, with Shells 2 points clear of Stephen Kenny's side.
Bohemians boss Stephen Kenny was without centre-halves Colin Hawkins and Ken O'Man. As a result, Stephen Caffrey started at the back, with Fergal Harkin partnering Kevin Hunt in the centre of midfield. The first chance of the game, though, fell the way of the visitors and Jason Byrne, the striker finding Seamus Kelly equal to his well-struck free kick. The loose ball ended with Shells awarded another free. From this one, Kelly denied Glenn Fitzpatrick, but injured himself in the process. That was to prove the end of his night, Matt Gregg taking over between the posts with just 15 minutes gone. Shelbourne were gaining the upper hand. A slick move almost saw Ollie Cahill grab the opener, but his volley was just wide of Gregg's left-hand post. Bows were soon threatening at the other end. James Keddy has already proven a significant close-season signing by the Dalymount club. He came within inches with a finely struck effort. The turning point of the first period came 14 minutes from the break. Gerard Rowe's right-wing cross, Damien Lynch's handball. The referee having no hesitation in pointing to the spot. Up stepped Byrne to drill his effort past Gregg, and Shelbourne were to hold a 1-0 lead at half-time. The second half began in controversial fashion. Just 3 minutes in, Glenn Crowe ghosted behind the Shelbourne cover, only to find himself taken down by Steve Williams. The home side and home support were baying for a red card. Williams was to escape with a yellow. The second period was to produce little in the way of clear-cut chances, though Lynch was almost caught out when he failed to spot Byrne lurking. In the end, the hosts escaped when the striker ran out of room on the end line. But just when it looked like Shelbourne would record a memorable Dalymount win, fullback Lynch was to prove the unlikely saviour, helping Bobby Ryan's free kick to the net to spark off wild scenes of celebration. 1-1 the final score.
I think it was a fair result. It was a very disappointing game, I think, for the spectators, which was disappointing on both teams' behalf, but we were happy to get the point in the end after being 1-0 down for so long, you know.
Yeah, overall, how would you assess the performance?
I thought we were poor tonight. That's probably the poorest we've played all season, you know. We were scrappy all over. Didn't get enough service to the front men, like, you know. We were happy with the draw at the end, but what can you do? Back to the drawing board, and hopefully now next week in Derry we can pick it up.
Very disappointed. We thought we deserved to win the game. We limited Bows to very few chances. I think that was probably their only one. It was disappointing. It is because we were good. We were good for a lot of patches in the game. We defended very well, and to lose it like that is, or not lose it, but to drop the points is difficult to take.
Well, I had to get in there because I made a mistake for the first goal. It was my fault, so I tried to redeem myself, and I think it just came off me back or back of my head or something. So happy enough with that, you know.
No one seemed to know who to congratulate at first, but you'll claim it.
I definitely claim it, yeah. First of the season, so I don't get too many, so I'll take that one.
Well, Noel, you were at Dalymount Park for the game tonight. Did you feel 1-1 was a fair reflection?
I did, really, yeah. I'd agree with Pat's assertion that Bohemians didn't create much, but they certainly had lots of possession. They played nice football without creating too many clear-cut chances. And I'd say that was a worry for Stephen Kenny. But against Shelbourne, it's always difficult. But they did keep going and kept going right to the end. They made a few changes towards the end, bringing Healy on the middle and bringing Grant on up front, which gave them a little bit more edge. You couldn't split them, really. You really couldn't split them. Shelbourne didn't have to come forward and try and get a second goal, and eventually maybe that was their undoing. But it was a tough one, and as I say, Dublin Derby, so many of them finishing draws, it's unbelievable.
What can often happen in any league, I suppose, when the top 2 clubs meet, they tend to maybe cancel each other out. Was that the case tonight?
An awful lot of that, an awful lot of cancelling each other. There was an awful lot of times the ball was up in the air. It wasn't very pretty to watch, but there's a lot at stake. This is a very, very tense match, and so early in the season. Neither team could afford, well, particularly Bows couldn't afford to lose, would have opened up a 5-point gap.
But we can see here the incident which led to the penalties.
It's unreal. It's unreal. I don't know what he's thinking about. It's a cross into the box. He doesn't know where he is. Even if you don't know where you are, you certainly don't put your hand up.
And 4-4 now for Jason Byrne.
No surprise it was going to take that penalty, was there? But it was a shocking one. Now, if he tells me that hit off the back of his neck, he must have the hardest neck. The hardest neck.
He's always going to claim it after what happened earlier.
But you can see the principle behind the free kick. It's a corner aimed at the back post, and it's very difficult for any goalkeeper. You never know, get a deflection. It could go straight in. It's a rehearsed thing, and he got very lucky because if it did hit him, it could have gone anywhere. But it's a nice goal from their point of view.
Obviously, very important for Bohemians not to let Shells get too far ahead. I mean, we keep saying it is very, very early in the season, but obviously after 3 wins in a row, a win tonight for Shelbourne, and already there would have been a bit of a gap.
Psychologically, there would have been, because last year they spent most of their season catching up Bohemians, and then when they finally did catch up, they ran out of steam over the last couple of games. Had they started again and lost tonight, that's 5 points. 4 games only gone. That's hard to take. And then it depends how the player. You'd expect Bohemians to react in the right way, but the questions would be asked. The doubts might creep into the dressing room. The manager might question certain things he's done. He doesn't have to do that now. They're still in touch, and it's a wonderful point from Bohemians' point of view.
Just a word on one of the new faces at Shells. We spoke about James Keddy at Bowes. He's expected to be a key player for them in the season ahead. Glenn Fitzpatrick, who scored his first goal for Shells on Friday evening, and I think has impressed a lot of people in his 4 games so far.
Yeah, he's former Rovers. I think he's former UCD. I think he was in Athlone as well. He's a good young player. He works very hard. He's a decent touch. He's got a nose for goals. I think he has to prove himself along the season as it goes. He's certainly hungry. He covered an awful lot of ground tonight, and he's every opportunity of making a good impact this season.
OK, now let's take a check now on all the Eircom League results, starting with the Premier Division. Bohemians 1, Shelbourne 1, as we've just seen. Waterford 2, Dublin City 1, Derry City 1, Shamrock Rovers 0, Longford Town 1, Cork City 1, St Pat's 0, Bohemians 2, and Shelbourne 3, Drogheda United 0. In the First Division, Kildare County 2, Cove Ramblers 1, Galway United 3, Limerick 1, Athlone Town 2, Kilkenny City 0, Bray Wanderers 4, Sligo Rovers 0, Finn Harps 1, UCD 0, and Dundalk 0, Monaghan United 1. So here is the top of the Premier Division after tonight's games. No change really, with Shelbourne still 2 points clear of Bohemians. Waterford are in 3rd place on 7 points.